All right, today we're going to be doing lesson 13, learning about solving two-step problems. And this will be found on page 136 in your workbook on your colorful pages. So we're going to start today by reading our problem that's highlighted on your page. And then we're going to explore different ways to model and solve two-step word problems. So we'll begin with the problem. Third graders at Brown Elementary School are raising money for the school library. The goal is to raise $250. They raised $9 each day for 8 days in a row. How much more money is needed to reach the goal? So we need to remember we want to make sense of our problem. So we want to know what the problem is about, what information is important, and what are we trying to solve. So they're giving us a model in our Picture It, which is like a part whole model. And they're going ahead and showing us that we need first to figure out what 8 times 9 would equal. That's the part we already know. We know they're trying to reach $250, and right now they're showing us that 9 times 8 would be 72, so they've already raised $72 of their total. So to model it, you could use the diagram above to help to write an equation for a two-step word problem. So the students raised $9 each day for 8 days. So they have already raised 8 times $9. They need a total of $250. They need to raise X more dollars. So let's remember that X is our variable. That's our unknown. That's the part that we're trying to solve. The amount already raised plus X should equal $250. We could write this as one equation, and it could look like the example on your workbook page. 8 times 9 in parentheses plus X, which is what we're trying to solve for, the unknown, would equal 250. Now, we're focusing on page 137, which is going to have us connect to what we had read previously on page 136. So they're going to show us first how we could model the problem on page 136. So it says, now you will model and solve the equation from the previous page. So they start out by showing us an equation in parentheses, 8 times 9 plus X equals 250. And then below that, they're showing us that they first multiplied 8 times 9. That's where your 72 is coming from. So 72 plus X equals 250. And then that X will equal 250 minus 72. And then that's showing us that X will end up equaling 178. Now, number 2, they ask the question, what operation is done first? So let's remember from previous lessons, we know that when we have an equation that has parentheses, we try to work what's in the parentheses first. So that's why they have given the answer multiplication, because we did multiply 8 times 9 first, and then we continued with our equation to show plus X would equal 250. On number 3, it says to describe in words what 250 equals 72 plus X actually means. So already gives us the answer, a number added to 72 equals 250. But we want to make sure we really understand how they're explaining that. So that's the same as when we used to see equations, or we can still see equations, where we have a blank plus a number, and they show us our total. So we have solved equations like this before without an X being there, but we know when we see that blank, that's the unknown. That's the answer we're trying to find. So when they are saying to us on number 3, a number added to 72 equals 250, we could put an X in place of the blank, and that X would still be saying what are we solving for. So on number 4, why do you subtract 72 from 250 to find X? So I already says that X and 72 are the two parts that make the whole 250. So take away 72 from 250 to find what the other part is. And we know that we can connect addition and subtraction to solve for unknowns. So if we were doing what they're explaining in number 4, we would have been thinking about it like this: 250 minus 72. And we know that the difference we would come up with would be the part that was unknown. So on number 5, that x, what is x and what does it stand for? So if we had done our subtraction, we would have come up with a difference of 178. So that x in our equation stands for 178, which is the number of dollars still needed to make the goal. So 6, when they want us to explain how you can use addition to check your answer, we've kind of already talked about that. We know from even first grade and second grade that we can use addition and subtraction to check our problems to solve for unknowns. So on number 6, Ready Math is telling us that since I subtracted 250 minus 72 to equal 178, I can use addition, 72 plus 178, to check that I get 250. So now, on the 2 try it questions at the bottom, it would be good if you would pause your video right now. We know you're already seeing the answers that would work for solving 7 and 8, but it would be good if you would pause right now and try 7 and 8 on your own in your workbook, and then come back and see if your solution matches up with how I already chose to show you how to solve 7 and 8. Now, we will tell you that 7 and 8, the way you will think about those and try to make sense of those, is the same way that we tried to think about the original problem on page 136. Your 2 steps will involve multiplication and addition, and you might use some subtraction to check your work.